everyone, my name's Joy and I've been addicted to Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar, which is the latest installment in the Story of Seasons franchise. It's a reimagining of the DS title Harvest Moon Grand Bazaar, and it's taken the cozy community by storm. Starting out can feel a bit overwhelming, but in today's video, I'm going to offer some basic beginner's tips and tricks to help you hit the ground running for your first spring. Before we dive in, please make sure to shine the like button and consider subscribing for more cozy gaming content. I also live stream cozy gaming favorites a few times a week here on this channel, including Grand Bazaar, and would love to see you at one. Alright, now let's dive into the tips and tricks. As a small disclaimer, the majority of the tips in this video assume that you have, for the most part, bypassed the tutorial of the game, or essentially the first in-game week, which will have unlocked all of your basic tools and see you go through your first Saturday Bazaar. If you haven't reached this point yet, keep playing to complete most of the game's basic introduction and tutorial, and know that this video may contain some mild spoilers ahead. Starting out with tip number 1, which can actually be done during your first few days in Zephyr Town. When you're first starting out, go into villagers' homes and snoop around any interactable furniture. You will find some starter cooking recipes, and I also suggest that you interact with anything in the overworld that you see, such as signs or statues. Don't forget to periodically buy food from Madeline's Cafe as well, as consuming these will also give you their cooking recipes. Doing all of these will ensure that you have a few different cooking recipes available to you at the start of the game. Tip number 2, check what's trending for you that season and see if you can target those specific items. Trending items will be unique to every playthrough, so what you see as trending for me might not be trending for you. In fact, in my second save, I didn't have any of the round crops or turnips specifically as trending items, and it was harder to try and get what was needed in the first few weeks of the game. If you can even hit one of the trends, do so. Remember that you may need to double check what actually counts for a trend. I didn't realize that in my second save, sashimi was an acceptable type of recipe for the red category, and it was an easy early game item to prepare. Spoiler note, trends reset every season. If you don't like the trends you get in the next season, you can always reload your save and try again. Tip number 3, prioritize planting crops. Specifically, turnips are a very beginner-friendly crop as they grow quickly. You will also be able to create turnip salads with the harvested turnips, which will sell for more at the bazaar. Even if turnips or turnip salads aren't among your trending items, a large yield of them will still sell well throughout your very first spring, and it's a good idea to always have some of them on hand growing and ready to go for a salad, or later if you can pickle them to sell at the bazaar. Tip number 4, after you've gained access to the red windmill, which is the windmill on your farm, you will note that it has several processed recipes, one of which are perfumes that can be crafted by either using foraged herbs or flowers. I recommend gathering as many of these as you can, and consider making foraging them a part of your daily or at least your weekly routine so that you always have a steady supply. Floral perfume is more profitable than herbal perfume, so you may want to keep your eye out on that as well. Tip number 5, flowers are also important for processing dyes. One of the early game requests will require that you supply someone with 15 dyes of any color, so if you are able to plan for this ahead, you can unlock said character more quickly. Dyes also happen to sell very well for your very first spring in the bazaar, so if you always have a steady supply of flowers and need something to sell at the weekly market, don't forget that you can always turn flowers into dye. Tip number 6, there are no mines in Grand Bazaar. Rather, you will have to use your hatchet in the overworld to destroy rocks. In the beginning, you will probably mostly find copper as you are searching for ore. Keep checking your mail every day, as you may come across silver in a letter. If you obtain silver in the early game, I suggest holding on to 2 of them, as you will need them to unlock 2 separate bazaar stalls, one of which will sell more ores to you, as finding silver can be quite rare in the beginning, and you can in turn use these ores to upgrade your tools until it becomes easier to find them for yourself. Tip number 7, prioritize expanding your storage in the early game. Once you get into the 3rd or so week of spring, space starts to feel extra tight. so start upgrading your bag and storage room as soon as you can. I upgraded my storage twice and my bag all the way through before I reached summer, and I still always had enough money to buy animals, seeds, upgrades from Felix, and other goodies during the first month in the game. Tip number 8. Following your storage, try to get at least 1 cow and 1 chicken in your first spring. There are a couple of early game character requests that require 1-star egg and 1-star milk products, and you will need to raise your animal's affection with you to obtain these higher quality items. It will also be better this way in the long run if you choose to breed these animals later on. Tip number 9. You will be somewhat limited with what you can end up selling at the bazaar in your first spring. However, some of my favorite and easily accessible goods include walnut juice, which you can get from gathering the walnuts on your farm, turning them into bottled walnuts in the red windmill, and using those to make walnut juice in your kitchen, onion salad, which you can buy from Miguel during the bazaar, and the recipe can be purchased from Madeline's Cafe, strawberry juice, which you can also purchase the seeds from Miguel at the bazaar, and the recipe from Madeline's Cafe, sashimi, which you can craft from your kitchen using fish you catch, and the recipe is there when you start the game. And for a bit later in spring, you can purchase wheat and rice seeds from Miguel and turn those respectively into wheat flour and vinegar. The wheat flour can be made into bread in your kitchen, and the bread can then be made into toast for a higher profit yield, and vinegar can be used to pickle your veggies, which each sell for a generous amount. Tip number 10. If you're worried about the freshness quality of anything, especially for your crops and the multi-processing steps I mentioned in the last tip, don't worry too much. Items reset their freshness when you use them to process something else. For example, if you have a turnip that's decayed in one level of freshness, but then you use vinegar to pickle that turnip, your pickled turnips will come back as perfectly fresh. This gives you more than enough time to plan ahead for your next bazaar, or even save those items if you need to wait for the following bazaar. Tip number 11. Don't skip saying hi to your neighbors or gifting them, even if they aren't romance candidates. They will give you requests that will reward you with anything from seeds to recipes or to decorations that you can use at your bazaar stall. Plus, the random cutscenes that occur in Zephyr Town are all voice acted and a pleasure to watch. Tip number 12. When you unlock the nature sprites, you will see that each one will be in charge of leveling up certain items. For example, giving fish to Finley will raise the quality of fish that you catch, while giving bugs to Penny will increase the quality of bugs that you find. These are permanent level boosts. I recommend that you first prioritize leveling up fish through Finley and forageables through Ivy for a few early game requests and to increase your profit margins. Note that for Ivy, you can give her weeds and rocks if you want to speed up the leveling process. Tip 13. Speaking of harvest sprites, when you do level up items through each sprite, just note that item qualities do not stack against each other, meaning that if you have a stack of 1-star chamomile in your storage, for example, and you get forageables upgraded to 2 stars, the 2-star chamomiles that you'll subsequently find will not stack with the 1 stars. It's best to clear out the lower quality items from your inventory once you have gained the permanent quality boosts by either processing the lower qualities in the windmills and selling the goods at the bazaar, or consider gifting them to your fellow villagers instead. And tip 14. There are 2 festivals in your first spring that you may want to prepare for a bit. There's also another one, but you don't really need to worry about it for your first year. The Flower Festival will see you gifting as many flowers as you can to your neighbors to win the Best Neighbor trophy. Note that both flowers and herbs will work for this event, and that you have approximately 1 day to gift out as many flowers as you can. The second is Honey Day, and there's a recipe that you will gain that requires wheat flour. If you can, either stock up on wheat flour from Felix at the bazaar, or purchase wheat seeds and make your own wheat flour in the windmill ahead of this event. And that's it for this tips and tricks video. What has been helping you get through your first spring in the game? Drop a comment of one of your favorite tips, or let me know if any of the ones in this video helped you out. Don't forget to hit that like button on your way out, and consider joining us for a live stream. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye!